Hi, Jemma. Thank you for joining today. And I know you're a very busy person, so I really appreciate you taking the time out. Um, Please, can you give us a bit of background about your career, decisions you've made, how you've entered your career path today, what your job role is? That's what today's discussion is about. So we'll kick it off and we'll start with, can you tell us a bit about your education and the subjects you enjoyed at school and why you chose those particular subjects?
Well, at high school, I studied maths, English, and physics and chemistry. I was always very into the maths side of things. It was something that interested me, and had actually looked to be an accountant. I didn't go to university straight from school. I decided to work about a bit and gain some experience in the workplace, being fresh from school. And it was actually when I worked as a secretary for an architect's firm that I discovered the role of a quantity surveyor and realised that it fitted my skill sets of the maths side, and I enjoyed a lot of the work that was involved, and therefore I looked for opportunities in the world of quantity surveying and found a position which put me through university part-time whilst I was working, which was very good.
Yeah, I've got to ask now, if you go to an architecture company, did you ever think about doing architecture instead?
Do you know, it's not something that ever attracted me as architecture, purely because I don't feel I'm a very creative, artistic sort of person. I mean, I am in my own time, but I think for a job it wasn't something that I wanted to pursue as a job. But there's a lot of onus on the architects as well in the world of building. So yes, I decided to stay away, and that quantity surveying definitely fitted what I wanted out of my career more than architecture.
As a quantity surveyor, what kind of skill set do you think is needed or you have to be interested in, or what would you recommend?
So having a general interest in the construction industry is ideal. The actual bones of the work is a lot of contractual paperwork, a lot of measuring, a lot of spreadsheets and sums. So I think being able to complete those sort of tasks, having good literacy and numeracy skills is very helpful, but also being a people person and being able to speak to people and be able to understand what they need from what you're producing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you yeah, you touched on the fact about your literacy skills and stuff. What about, like, would you need to be like really good at English to be understanding contracts and the writing inside of things?
No, not at all. I mean, a lot of quantity surveyor work uses standard forms of contract. So it's not as if you're writing contracts from scratch. You just need to be able to understand what the contract's getting across. But that's already set in precedent. They have set meanings. So I wouldn't say you would need to be an author or anything. Absolutely not. No, I think you just need to be able to read and write, basically, and be able to comprehend what you're actually reading. So yeah.
Thank you. Can you explain a bit about the kind of work you've done in the past, type of projects you've worked on?
Absolutely, yeah. I worked in the public sector, so we were spending public funds. Part of my favourite jobs were building new libraries and kitting out old ones, like refurbishing them, stripping them out. And I think I absolutely preferred refurbishment works to new construction. I found it really intriguing, examining the structure as it existed and what we could do to excuse me one moment, what we could do to just multitasking here. What we could do to improve it, and obviously at as low a cost as possible to the client, bearing in mind that it was public money that we were spending. And yeah, it was having it all taken apart and put back in front of you. It's quite rewarding to experience.
Oh. That's good. You just answered one of my questions, which was which bits do you enjoy about your career, and you kind of answered that now. I'm not for asking that. Yeah, I think you've covered most of the questions today, other than the last remaining question would be, do you feel like quantity surveyor's job role involves a lot of working on site and a lot of travel? What would you say to that?
I think it depends on the role that you're actually in. In my experience, I was always office based with visits to site. So I would visit site for site meetings, getting all the PPE on, your hard hat and your rigger boots to keep you safe, and obviously visiting the site to do measures. But absolutely, it's quite diverse in that respect, and that you don't really get time to get bored, because you could have meetings on site set days of the month we normally had, and days that you do evaluations, it's sort of like a regular thing, like twice a month go to a site, but the rest of the time working in the office. But there are roles, I believe, that you can be based on site as a quantity surveyor, but I didn't have any of those. I think they're more on the other side from which I worked, on the client side.
Yeah. No, I totally understand what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
You be in the site cabin, and yeah, you're so true. What you're saying is that public sector and working on the employer side, you do get that variety of being in an office environment, being on site, and you get that flexibility throughout your week, which is good for people that like variety. Yeah, really good point.
Yeah, it's really good, and it really helps with your work-life balance as well. Just being able to get out and about, and you don't feel like you're stuck in one place all the time. You can, if it's a lovely day, go and have a site visit.
Thanks, Jemma. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
For your time, Jemma. You've been really helpful to giving people an insight on what the quantity surveying role is about, and also the skill set that they need. So thank you so much for that. Okay, well,
thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.